Hi, I'm Jeff Bailey, and I'd like to share a video here from my friend Tom, who recently had a shoulder replacement. It's one of the more traumatic surgeries, replacing a shoulder. And while the technology just keeps getting better and better and better, there's no way around the trauma that happens during and kind of after the surgery. Tom explained to me that after they put everything back together while he was still under anesthetic, they take the shoulder through a full range of movement just to test it and make sure everything works. And sure enough, it can move through this full range of motion. But that's without the nervous system involved. So as we come out of surgery, we come out of the anesthetic, the pain and from all the trauma starts to come in, and we do not want to move the joint. It doesn't matter if it's the hip or the knee, the shoulder, it doesn't matter. The pain keeps us out of the movement. But the physical therapists and the doctors, everyone know you have to push into the pain. You've got to get it moving again, or you don't get it back. And the longer you wait, the more difficult it is to get it back. And so this is a message really for anybody who's undergoing a surgery or a replacement. You've got to take the physical therapy to heart and do it and work into the pain. I think it's helpful to actually begin going into the pain and going deep into the potential movement of your joint before the surgery, 1 to 2 months before the surgery. You really start to condition yourself to work with the pain. It helps organize and loosen up all the connective tissue around the joint. And some doctors now are starting to have a protocol, a pre-surgical protocol to do things like this to help with a better outcome. Okay, so maybe you have that, maybe you don't, maybe you're dealing with a replacement yourself. How do we get the full range of movement back? Well, number one, talk to your doctor and find out what is the potential for movement after surgery. We want to know the limitations of the surgery so that we don't violate it. Okay, we want to regain the full range of motion without impeding in any way the surgical limitations. When you go to physical therapy, and for lots of exercises these days, there's this common idea that you warm up before you do the exercise. We want to get the body warmed up. Well, in Avita Yoga, we don't subscribe to that kind of thinking. Why? Because warming up gives us a false sense of flexibility. We don't want to warm up the tissues. We want to actually find and isolate the blockages. We need to bring the restrictions to light, spend time with them so they can resolve. So here we go. You're going to need a strap, a 6-foot strap folded in half is ideal, but a belt or a scarf or something similar will do. Going to lie on your back with your knees bent and your feet flat on the floor and support your head. I'm using this 3-inch foam block, but any kind of small firm cushion will do. Now, we take the strap, we fold it in half so we have about a 3-foot width between the two hands. We hold it on the ends, we have a firm grip, and then hold it up toward the ceiling. Some shoulder impingements are so severe that just getting the arms toward vertical may be a challenge. We're going to play with getting the arms toward vertical and then tugging on the strap as if to traction it and tear it apart. We push toward the ceiling. Step number one is getting to this shape, tugging on the strap, pushing toward the ceiling. And then maintaining straight elbows, lowering slowly overhead. Now, as you go, you're going to find the resistance. Stay with it. Let's just say this is as far as you can go. Then right here is where you would close your eyes, feel all your fingers, your two thumbs squeezing steadily and consistently. This traction quality on the strap helps extend the elbows, which is wonderful for the elbows. And I'm reaching up and away. I'm reaching for the wall behind me. I'm not straining, I'm not pushing, but I am willingly bumping into the resistance and sometimes the pain. If the experience is too demanding or the pain is too strong, then diminish pressure by raising your arms back up a little bit. We want it to be doable and sustainable moment by moment. You'll learn to discern the difference between something that's outright pain and something that I call healing sensation. It's healing sensation that may not be pleasant, but it doesn't take your peace away. So we're able to be in the shape peacefully. With time and with practice, you'll work through the restriction and slowly make your way closer to the floor. When the time is right, 1.5 to 2 minutes, you slowly raise your arms back up. Slowly, slowly, slowly. When your arms are back perpendicular, you maintain the shape in the most passive manner possible. You let the shoulders sink toward the floor. You lighten your grip, but you still rely on the strap. This is a deep relaxation response into the shoulder. You can stay there for anywhere from 20 to 60 seconds. It's very soothing. And then gently release the strap and rest your arms at your sides. There are numerous variations on the shape. Okay, we start out wide on the strap. We start out wide because the closer we get to the midline and the more we bring the hand overhead toward the ceiling, the closer we get to the impingement. So that's why we begin wide. And maybe for some of you, you even have to make the strap wider yet. So we take gravity out of the equation for this. You cannot do this movement and have it work for you standing up. There's too much muscle activity. And we have to work against gravity. Granted, some of you lying on your back with your hands wide, maybe you're going to have to work against gravity a little bit until you get to have the hands perpendicular to the floor. If necessary, widen the strap a little bit more. We are engaging both arms, both shoulders, doing the work with both hands, but primarily supporting whichever shoulder needs the work the most, whichever shoulder has the impingement or has had the replacement. So both arms move at the pace of the one shoulder that needs the attention. Okay, so that's why we take this very deliberate, patient approach. A little bit goes a long way. I would encourage you to do this practice daily. You might even feel inspired to do it twice a day. It's pretty darn simple. 1.5 to 2 minutes. Maybe you just do it in the wide version first for a couple weeks. And slowly over time, you start sliding your hands in, you get closer to the midline, and thus closer to the restriction. Okay, we just want to keep bringing it to the surface, keep unwinding it, keep letting it resolve. And the other thing I want to be super clear about is the goal for the movement. What's the goal for the movement? Increased mobility and increased healing. We have to bring the nervous system, the connective tissue, the muscles, the bones, everything about it has to come along for the ride. And if we just push for mobility, or if we set the goal to get the hands to the floor, then okay, you may gain the mobility, but you could have another injury along the way. You could miss opportunities to heal and reorganize all these different systems and tissues along the way. That's why we don't skip steps. And that's why we want to ask the doctor, what is the potential range of motion? Remember, we don't want to violate anything that they did in the surgery and get everything else that we possibly can. If you'd like to know more and gain a deeper understanding of the anatomy, the physiology that we're using to heal and restore along the way, click on the link below and do my Shoulder Movement for Life workshop. It's loaded with information and a number of variations on this movement. It's not exercise. We're not burning calories. We're just trying to heal and mobilize our joints. That's what brings healthy movement. That's what brings us youth. That's what we really want. Thank you very much for joining me, and namaste.